Assalamu alaikum everybody. Okay. जब कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑर्गेनाइजर को कोई स्पीकर पसंद ना हो तो उसको वो ये डेथ स्लॉट देता है राइट बिफोर लंच. सो आई अपोलोजाइज फॉर दैट. आई अंडरस्टैंड. आई एम स्टैंडिंग बिटवीन यू एंड लंच. सो आई विल बी वेरी क्विक. आई एम हियर टू टॉक अबाउट Gen Z and designing digital experiences for them. So very quickly, we tell stories, solve complex problems, and design experiences. So everything I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with theory or hypothesis. This is all based on our work for the last 3 years. 5 years ago with late millennials, 3 years ago with Gen Z, right? So I'm here to talk about smooth digital experiences for Gen Z because the payments track has started. It applies to payments. We have done all core fintech journeys for our clients, all core investment journeys, all core e-commerce journeys, starting from Gen Z research. We interview 10 to 20 Gen Z every week, sometimes 20 to 50. We are building the largest branding database in Pakistan, 40,000 plus interviews, million plus data points. And I will share all of what we have started to learn here in the next 10, 15 minutes. And at the end, if you guys manage to stick it out till then, I will tell you what is the most popular brand with them right now. Just something that you can use. So my aim is to give you a few principles that you can start applying to any work you do immediately. So first of all, we're going to talk about the motivations of Gen Z. Without understanding motivations, you cannot design experiences for them. You cannot go out there in the world and say, okay, this is what's happening in England, this is what's happening in the US, this is what's happening in Brazil, Nigeria, Indonesia, large countries, so let's apply it to Pakistan. Doesn't work this way. We are a very unique nation. I'll do this, okay. So, our society, this applies on Gen Z, but this applies on our society as well. It has 4 major drivers. We tend towards either modernity or traditionality. We tend to be focused on ourselves or focused on others. When you go past this and you match them, there are 8 primary motivations of the demographics of Pakistan, which are related to those 4 scales. Now, on this own, this is a 2-hour presentation, just this one motivation, but I just want to leave you with a quick principle of how complex our nation is. Essentially, we have 8 Pakistani Gen Z segments, right? Now, Gen Z, why is it important? It's a good time for me to say this. There are over close to 70 million Gen Z. In the next 15 years, these are the most important consumer segment, and they are totally different from the segment that came before it. And so it's very critical to understand them. Literally everybody's job is going to be dependent on this. Now, I just want to show you the level of depth that you need to go to, right? Now, what our research has started to reveal, I will give you an example of one of these segments so you understand that the depth you have to go to before you even think about designing a digital experience for them. If you understand, one of the things we've done is we've been to all the major college campuses that are considered elite in terms of education. So LUMS, IBA, Habib University, and I find interesting that IBA guys are a bit heavier on the go-getters and the power seekers. LUMS guys are a bit heavier on the optimistic achievers, and Habib University is very heavy on the liberal side. Since I was just in Habib University for a couple of hours, studying Gen Z, you have to study them in their own habitat. What I found out was that what we've been studying applies a lot to them. Let me just see. Can we do the next one? Okay, this is a bit stretched, but we'll leave it as it is. The takeaway is that this is the level of detail you need to get into to understand. This is just one of the segments. This is what has started to come out of our research, right? And what's interesting is that this, when you go to Habib University and you talk to any typical student that is there, a lot of this will come out, right? I'll just read a couple of things for you. Let's just look at the segment insights general. So this one segment is cultured, intelligent. It puts values and ideals before money and success. It believes the world won't change unless people change their behavior first. It values community and it respects the environment, right? Now, what we have to figure out is that whatever is our brand positioning and whatever is our story, how does it dovetail into which macro segment? And then you need to make sure that the experience and the branding all represents. All of these have to work together. Once you understand their motivations, you need to start telling the right story. Then you get to the experience part. Okay, so these are the Gen Z expectations from brand. It's a bit of a complex infographic. I will just leave you with the main principle here. You are probably right there. Gen Zs they work in this journey. They're open to a relationship with you, then they start recommending you, then there comes a time they're exclusive to you, then there comes a time they're paying premium for you, and then there comes a time when they become your advocates. No Pakistani brand really goes beyond the first 2-3 stages. The journey of the brand is that you go from unbranded to recognition to positioning to personality to worldview. But what's important to do is what effect does it have? The brand changes what Gen Z gets. Then when it starts changing how they feel, they start resisting competitors. When it starts changing their lifestyle, that's when they start paying a premium. And when it changes society, because it has such a strong worldview, that is when it is a thing, you have a customer for life. Sony PlayStation fanatics or fans would come in this territory. Apple fans come in this territory. Our brands can never move almost from brand changes how they feel to how they live. And even the feels part is temporary based on advertising, which is mostly hit and miss, mostly miss. The principle I want to leave you with is that if you want to go up this journey and you want to design experiences, the core attribute you need to have is authenticity. It's okay to make mistakes, admit it. We screwed up. Nothing wrong with that. Worst thing you can do is never communicate. And almost as bad is to lie. Authenticity is the only way to go up this chain. And then, of course, if you've got the details and the research right, as I've told you, you can attempt to move past this. So, the 3 principles of designing Gen Z digital experiences. Are you building an app? Are you building a platform? Are you building any digital journey? These 3 things are the most important. Number 1, and the first 2 have to do with tech. I mean, any CIOs, tech guys in the house? Just a quick, well, awesome, very good. So 2 of these 3 are related to tech. So if any time tech wanted a seat at the strategy table, this is your entrance. So you can never break. Your app, your platform, it can't hang, it can't break. Never. It breaks once, they're gone. It's really that simple now. It can never break. This is why all the young hate HBL. Sorry if anybody's here from HBL. And they love these new fintech entrants, right? This is utterly binary. There is no gray area here. Your tech can never break. And if you have legacy tech and legacy debt, figure out how to move over. Number 2, speed matters. Every 100 millisecond matters to experience. Right now, Gen Z can click on an Instagram story in 0.25 seconds. Literally that quick. So they see it, they process it, they decide they want to move on, 0.25 seconds. It can be that quick. Like we've literally sat there and measured it. There are people who can click a mouse 12 to 13 times, also measured through a device. That means that if you're fighting in a game, some Gen Z have figured out how to click a mouse 12, 13 times. This is a totally different generation. Their neurons are wired different. Speed matters. If you have a 400 millisecond delay between your chatbot option on WhatsApp and somebody else has a 100 millisecond delay, that 100 millisecond guy is going to kill you. Every 100 millisecond matters. Lastly, your UX needs to be intuitive. What does intuitive mean? A very clear definition. I don't want to leave it fluffy. Intuitive means that it's simple without being dumb. That is what you have to hit. You can't be too simple, you can't be too complex, and this is not easy. If it was easy, like we would all be out of a job, at least we would be. So we design these journeys for fintechs, for proptechs, for e-commerce to make sure that we hit that sweet spot. I'll give you, because the fintech track has started, let me go there. So these are the two fintech entrants. They're both successful. They both have over 500,000 customers. They're both probably, when the market turns, they'll both be worth $200 to $300 million. This one, and I was sitting with this gentleman, very nice American by the name of Brandon, fantastic guy, but wo zara mind kar gaya tha, because I told him, I was like, it's easy to do one or two journeys simply. It's when you have to add journeys that the complexity starts, and we're already seeing it. This is simple to the point of being dumb. It doesn't matter now because the competitors aren't there, and the people you're actually competing against for share of wallet is basically cash and incumbent banks. And the people you're targeting are digital natives. It's a bit of an easy sell right now. These are our brothers at NearPay, also an ex-customer. I love them and respect them very much. But they have too much going on. A legacy of the Laxon Group, and also I suspect they have a focus on SMB, this is going to be a springboard for that. Both of these have 500,000 customers each and are adding like 20, 25,000 a week, I think, right? So this shows you that too complex, too simple, there's enough of a bandwidth between them for competitors to arrive and do something. How smartly you use your real estate and build journeys, how intuitive they are if you hit them, you cannot underestimate how much of an advantage that is, right? Right. One other thing, when you're doing research, the moment you have digital platforms, right, do not underestimate how critical the data coming from them is. Right? Now, people usually define data in three ways: first-party data, second-party data, third-party data, right? What we found out because we study customer segments for a living, is that all four datas matter. The most important of them is actually ethnographic data. I'll get to that. So first-party data is your data. It is the cleanest, it's beautiful, there isn't a lot of it. You have 100,000 customers, you have 100,000 customers' data points. Second-party data is also clean data. The smart thing is to get it through alliances. You have it with Al-Fatah, you have it with Imtiaz, you get their POS data in exchange for your data. This second-party data combined with your data starts giving you more insights. Third-party data, less integrity, easily available, census, utility bills, whatever have you, right? Now, this, though, is the most critical. This looks at it culturally. These all come from closed, structured data points. These all come from open questions. This is unstructured. This is ethnographic. Okay, my time is running, so I'm going to go to the last one. My principle on this slide is, please use human-centered design to get ethnographic data, but do not focus on behavior, focus on motivation. And then add it to the other data points, then you'll be ready to design optimal experiences. My last slide. Okay, I want to leave this with you, right? I think the last time I presented this was UBL. I don't think they're here. Listen, people are underestimating this shift, okay? In 2000, you had websites. You got your data from banner and search ad and your CRM, right? In 2010s, you got all your data from apps, third-party cookies, ad tech. 50 to 95% of all your digital media buying went to ad fraud, by the way. So sorry about that. It was hit and miss at best, but now Apple has totally changed the game by killing cookies. They've just killed cookies. You do not get any data. Yesterday they announced even more stricter compliance privacy measures. Android will have to follow suit. You're not going to get any data. This is the only place to get data now. Conversations are as big a shift as websites to apps. Why? You talk to Gen Z, 95% of them will give you their data. You ask them which shampoo do you want to use. You ask them how much is your average spend. They will give you their data if you incentivize them. I can take that number to the bank, 95%. We've done the research. How do you get that data? Conversational AI. everybody needs a conversational AI chatbot as a user interface. It is as big a shift as going from web to mobile, right? So just a few talking points. Thank you very much.
Can I request Sajjad Sayyid, Chairman EXT, please come and present memento to Mr. Habibullah Khan.